Okay, we are back and we have soldered in R1, R2, R3, and R4. So we have soldered those in, and now what we will be doing is we will be soldering in the PL298, I believe. PL298, yes, connectors. And this is a PL298. So that's where this is going to connect into these two. We'll explain that, but don't worry about the PL298 yet. Put that aside. We're going to be connecting those two, and we're going to be connecting the MOSFET, two MOSFETs. These are the little black little squares with 3 little legs on them, and we'll be connecting one more capacitor. Okay, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to be connecting these two to U3. And as you can see in U3, you have 2 lines that are parallel of dots. The longest one will correspond to the largest one of these two, because this one of them will be smaller than the other one. This one have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 leads, the small one, and the large one will have 8. So the one with 8 leads, 8 little legs, will go on the large one. So you put it in there, and the small one will go right next to it, and the other one with 7. So it'll go like so. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put in the capacitor, and the capacitor should have a writing on there that says 104 on there, and that would go on C3 like so. So we got the capacitor, and then we got the 2 connectors. Next thing what we're going to do is we're going to connect the MOSFETs, and these are 2 MOSFETs. So what we're going to do is, if the little legs, like you can see here, are kind of smushed together, we're going to separate them a little bit, and then we're going to place them on, what is this, Q1 and Q2. We're going to place them on Q1 and Q2. And if you can see from the top view of this little MOSFET, you're going to see that on this side it's flat, on the top side it's curved. So that's an indicator of which direction it will be, because it has 3 little legs and those have to be facing one way. So we're going to do Q2 first. We're going to do this bottom one, Q2. It says right here, Q2. And the way this one goes is that the flat side should be facing this side here. So on Q2, you see there's 3 little holes. Those correspond to the 3 little legs. Okay. So that one will be like so. Flat side is on this side, curved side is on that side. And we're not going to do Q1. So Q1 is the same process, but it's going to be facing the other direction. You spread out the little feet. Make sure it fits in, and then you place it in where it says Q1. And with Q1, the flat side will be towards the LED, and the curved side will be towards. So the curved sides, in other words, will be facing each other, and the flat sides will be facing the LEDs right next to them. So the flat side will be towards this LED, and then for the other one, the flat side will be facing towards this other LED. That's one way of remembering it or seeing it, visualizing it. Okay, so now that we've placed these 5 components, we're going to solder those in, and we're almost done. Okay, we are back once more, and we have soldered in the 2 MOSFETs, the connectors, and the capacitor. And as you can see how it looks in the bottom, we've cut all the leads. make sure you you're very careful whenever you cut the leads off. Those fly, so you don't want to poke anyone, like we mentioned earlier. Okay, so next thing, these are the parts that you should have left for the board. So you should have, this is the connector, this is the chip, like it was mentioned earlier, and then you still have these headers. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come over, you're going to get your needle nose pliers, and then you're going to count two little pins, two little legs, and then you're going to snip those off. So you have two here, and then you have two here. Okay, so you put those aside, and you still have those two. You're going to come over to the one that has 6 legs, and you're going to cut it in half. So you have that there. And on this side, you're going to come over and you're going to cut 3 as well. And 3. You could do this with the needle nose pliers if you want. Then you have another left over. So what you'll come over here now is, what we're going to do is we're going to solder these two and these. These will be for your connecting your motor, depending on what configuration, but these could also be used for connecting a motor. So you're going to come over, and if you look at, you got your intelligence over here, you got your dotted line, and you're going to come over here to J13, and you're going to find the plus and a negative, and those two is where you're going to place the two individual little headers. So for J13, you're going to put them on plus and negative. You're going to put them in there. And then on the other side, you're going to come over here to J14, and you're going to do the same thing with plus and negative. So you're going to put 2 more over there. Plus and negative. Okay, so you got those 2 in there. And then you're going to come again, and you have 4 with 3 each. So you're going to grab 1, you're going to turn the board, and you remember where these voltage regulators were at? The ones with the little tabs. Not sure if you can see that there. The ones with the little tabs. And then you're going to see where it says 3 volts and ground. The little square, it says J8 or J. It says J8 on there. J9. I'm not sure what I can't read there. It's a little square that says 3 volts and ground. And you're going to place them there. It doesn't matter if you place them face a little bit towards that way, a little bit towards that way. What these pins are going to be for is they're going to be for 3 volts. So if you want to connect 3 volts to like another device or something, you could connect it to there. And you can also connect to the ground. So you're going to place the grounding headers on there as well. So you have that there. So you have 6 right there. And you're going to do the same thing for this other side. You're going to place it for the 5 volts. That'll be for the 5 volts. And for the ground. Okay. So now you've placed those in there. So we're going to solder those. Those are the last parts to solder in. And we're going to solder them in. And after we get back, we will put in the microcontroller and the PL289. Okay. Okay, we're back once more, and we soldered in the headers. So now that we've soldered in the 2 motor headers and the power supply headers, we have these 2 parts left. These 2 are very important. You got the PL289, and one side is gonna have, if you look at it, if you look at the little legs, you're going to see that one side has more legs than the other side. That one side that has more legs would go to the larger end of the connector. So place it in there. and make sure all the little legs are in there before you push down. Okay, there we go. It's in. And then, so that's how that's gonna go in. And then we're gonna come over here to the chip, to the pick chip, and we're gonna look at it. And at first glance, like we mentioned at the very beginning of the video, it's gonna have a little dip. So that little dip will go in corresponding with the dip on the socket and the dip on the board. The board has a little, should be still visible, the white little dip on there, on the writing, the white writing, and that's the way, that's where the dip should go. That's the orientation of the chip onto the board, so that you don't place it in the wrong way. And then you place it on top of it, and then you press down, and it should slide in nice and firm. And there we go. So congratulations, you have completed the board, and that's how the board should look like. Intelligence, driver, switch. Congratulations, and you have now finished the board.